The modern convenience of ultra-processed foods, UPFs, has permeated our daily lives, providing a quick, accessible, and often cheaper option for meals and snacks. However, a growing body of research suggests that this ease of consumption comes with hidden, long-term consequences. A recent study has cast a chilling light on how chronic consumption of these foods can gradually alter the brain's mechanisms that govern food intake, leading to harmful and potentially irreversible changes in eating behavior and metabolism. Ultra-processed foods are already known for their significant role in contributing to poor metabolic health, obesity, and other weight-related health issues. They are packed with empty calories, unhealthy fats, added sugars, and artificial additives, which not only contribute to weight gain but can also result in chronic inflammation, elevated blood sugar levels, and disrupted hormone function. These health concerns are not new, but the findings from the recent study go a step further, revealing that the impact of UPFs extends well beyond the body and begins to affect the brain itself. The study, which analyzed the dietary habits and brain scans of 33,000 participants, found an alarming link between the consumption of ultra-processed foods and changes in brain structure, particularly in areas that regulate appetite and food intake. The participants, who kept detailed food diaries and underwent brain scans, were found to have a troubling pattern. More than half of their daily caloric intake came from ultra-processed foods. The research team noted that this high consumption of processed foods was associated with increased inflammation in the brain, as well as a greater risk for obesity and other metabolic issues. Not only did the participants exhibit higher body fat percentages, but their blood sugar regulation was significantly impaired, and they had more visceral fat, which is especially dangerous due to its association with various chronic diseases such as diabetes and heart disease. But perhaps the most concerning aspect of the study is the way it suggests that these changes in the brain may create a feedback loop, reinforcing unhealthy eating patterns. As study author Philip Morris from McGill University pointed out, the specific brain regions affected by the consumption of UPFs are the very ones involved in controlling appetite and food reward. These areas, when altered by the chronic intake of highly processed foods, may make individuals more susceptible to overeating and food cravings, particularly for more ultra-processed options. In essence, the brain may begin to rewire itself to desire more of the very foods that are causing harm, creating a vicious cycle that is difficult to break. This kind of brain alteration is a serious concern because it means that the effects of ultra-processed food consumption are not just physical, but psychological as well. The pleasure and satisfaction derived from eating processed foods are amplified by changes in the brain's reward system, making it harder to resist the temptation to overeat. Over time, this can result in the development of unhealthy eating habits that are ingrained and difficult to reverse, particularly as the brain's chemistry becomes more dependent on the quick fix provided by these foods. Beyond the immediate physical consequences of overconsumption, such as weight gain, inflammation, and impaired glucose metabolism, the long-term effects of eating ultra-processed foods are even more concerning. The chronic inflammation in the brain could potentially contribute to the development of neurodegenerative diseases, mood disorders, and other mental health issues. This makes the stakes much higher than simply managing weight or preventing diabetes. The very foundation of cognitive health and emotional well-being could be at risk, which adds a layer of urgency to addressing this widespread issue. What is perhaps most disheartening is how ingrained ultra-processed foods have become in modern society. They are often marketed as convenient, affordable, and tasty options, making them highly appealing in today's fast-paced world. However, the growing evidence of their long-term dangers should prompt a reassessment of their place in our diets. The fact that many individuals unknowingly consume such large quantities of these foods, often from a young age, means that the cumulative impact on public health could be far-reaching. Additionally, the study points to a disturbing reality. As ultra-processed foods alter the brain's appetite-regulating centers, they create a vicious cycle that may not be easily broken. The more these foods are consumed, the more the brain adapts to their addictive qualities, making it harder for individuals to recognize or resist their harmful effects. This underscores the importance of not just focusing on physical health markers like weight and blood sugar, but also addressing the psychological and neurological impacts of processed food consumption. In conclusion, The findings of this study serve as a stark reminder of the hidden dangers lurking in the foods that many of us consume daily. While it's well known that ultra-processed foods are linked to obesity, metabolic disorders, and other physical health issues, the new research reveals an even darker side. These foods may actually be rewiring our brains, making us more susceptible to overeating and food addiction. This revelation calls for a greater focus on education, awareness, and ultimately, a shift in our dietary habits to break free from the cycle of ultra-processed food consumption. Only by doing so can we hope to mitigate the long-term damage that these foods are doing to our health, both physically and mentally.